Now, by the time this video goes up, last week was 20 years of Grey's Anatomy. It was the 20th anniversary. Now, one thing about me, I love me some Shonda Rhimes. Two of my favourite TV shows of all time are Grey's Anatomy and Scandal. If you have never seen either of those shows, you are really missing out. I will admit, I was late on the Scandal train. I really was. I think maybe, I want to say like 21, maybe 22, I saw Scandal for the first time. My god. And my god, all I will say is if anyone has daddy issues, it truly is the show for you. You are missing out. I didn't even know the anniversary was this month, but last month I rewatched all of Grey's Anatomy from season 1. Because, in my opinion, Grey's Anatomy, you have to rewatch all of Grey's Anatomy every year. That's really what I do, because it's incredible. And I know people have their opinions about the seasons later on. I know, but it's just great television to rewatch. As I said, I didn't know this big anniversary was happening this month, but as I recently rewatched all of Grey's Anatomy, I thought, why not do a tier ranking video again? Because in a recent video I did Sarah Jane Adventures characters, and I'm probably going to do a Doctor Who one as well, so stay tuned for that. And I had fun. But I will say, with Sarah Jane Adventures, I hadn't watched Sarah Jane Adventures since I was a kid, so when I was doing the tier list, I was going through the characters. If I, like, some of them I remembered, some of them I didn't so much. And I did mix up, and I do know I mixed up some of the names, I'm sorry about that in that video, but this show aired for the first time in 2005. I was 4 years old when the show came out, so no, I did not watch it at premiere, but love this show. Okay, so I found this tier list on a website. I did not name the categories, but it has all of the characters I think we care. It's mostly the doctors. There's some patients in this tier list as well, because it's some of the ones that we all know. I hope I remember the names. I guess I just said just rewatch the entire show. So if I don't remember this character's names, I'm probably gonna cry. Okay, so the top tier we have is talented, brilliant, incredible, amazing, show-stopping, spectacular, never been done before. Is top tier. My second tier is we stan. Third tier is, see, I was trying to love you, but never mind. It's mid tier, you know. You love them or hate them. It's a 50-50, depending on the episode. How you feel about them is how I'm gonna do with that tier, I think. And then fourth tier is, in conclusion, I hate you. That's a bit strong for fourth tier. The bottom tier is trash. Let's get into this tier list, and if I piss off some people, here's the thing, I have my opinions about certain Grey's Anatomy characters that I don't think are popular ones. Some of them, but we'll see. Obviously, we are starting this tier list with the one and only Meredith Grey. Obviously, don't piss me off. Don't piss me off. She's going in talented, brilliant, incredible, amazing, show-stopping, and spectacular. Don't piss me off. She is the show. Like, you can't, like, she is the show. Next one we have is Derek Shepherd. Now. Derek Shepherd. Muck dreamy, if you will. Now, love. As anyone, I think everyone who's watched Grey's Anatomy knows that Derek and Meredith together, beautiful. However, Derek does have his moments. Oh, and I am in agreement that they did, like, ruin his character. Yeah, spoiler alert. Spoiler alerts galore in this video, but Yeah, the fact that he like cheats on Meredith, they do spoil his character right before he dies a bit. The things that Derek said to Meredith were... Yeah, looking back at it now, especially that scene where she's like, you don't get to call me a whore. Did you know that scene? Great scene. I do love them together, but Derek has his moments where I was like, how did Meredith ever take that man back? Is my one question. I'm gonna put him in We Stand. Okay, so the next one on this list, we have Jackson Avery. Now, I loved Jackson and April together. Now, my opinion, my three favourite couples in Grey's Anatomy are Mark and Lexie. Mark and Lexie were my favourite characters in Grey's Anatomy together, like my favourite couples. Mark and Lexie. Don't want to talk about it. Let's not talk about it. Let's move on. Mark and Lexie. April and Jackson I love together, and the fact that they're like one of the only couples in Grey's Anatomy to have a happy ending, I will take, even though they went through so much together and the stuff that they went through, and the fact that April got bullied basically the entire time she was at this hospital. I also loved Jackson's friendship with Mark, Plastics Passy. I'm putting Jackson at the top of We Stand. I do love him. He may be an apple baby, but I do love him. The next person on this list, Mark Sloan. Now, McSteamy. It's McSteamy. I will say this. If you're putting McDreamy and McSteamy together, my opinion, Mark comes out on top. And I know that's a lot for a womanizing slag, for a womanizing slut that he was. But one thing you can say is that Mark knew he was a womanizer. Do you know what I mean? Mark knew he was, like, he loved women and he never lied about it. Like, he loved women, he never lied about it. He knew he was a whore, but he never pretended to be something else. Derek, however, had his moments. Like, Derek cheated on his wife. And yeah. Derek was kind of a piece of shit and never apologised for it. Mark never apologised for being a woman. But listen, love McDreamy, love McSteamy. But in my opinion, Mark comes out on top. Mark is better than Derek, in my opinion. I'm not gonna lie. Love how even this, and then when he became a father, he started learning Spanish to talk to Sophia, which is beautiful. Oh, will I put him in the top? Oh. I might put Mark in the top tier. I might come back and change it. Once I put everyone in a tier, I might swap it around a bit because I got a feeling some of these are gonna move. Oh, next one. My favourite woman, arguably my favourite person in this entire show, the one and only Christina Yang. Let's not get this. I'm gonna be honest, Christina Yang may be my favourite. I'm gonna be honest, Christina Yang may be my favourite more than Meredith. Yeah, because you have Twisted Sisters. These are the Twisted Sisters. I love them both. I relate more to Meredith in life, but I love Christina. Because my favourite thing about Christina is Christina never apologised for who she was. And like the whole thing about like she had two husbands that tried to make her have kids, and the fact that she always, I don't know what that quote is. I know it's like doing its rounds on Twitter this week. Is that quote where Owen says something to her? I think it's after she has the abortion when she's married to Owen. And she says something like, I like children, I respect children, but I respect them enough that they should have parents that want them. And I love. And she was like one of the first people, I want to say she was one of the first characters in television that like was very open about not wanting kids. And that was rare to see as a woman in like, you know, such a popular TV show saying that she doesn't want any kids. Like, that was so rare. She had her moments where it was like, wow, she is... Wow, she does behave a certain way, doesn't she? She does speak to people a certain way. but she like never apologized for being herself, and she was always herself, and that's something I love. That's what I was gonna say. When it's her final episode and she gets in the taxi, Meredith puts her in the taxi and she comes back. And she goes back and she goes, we have to dance her out. We have to dance her out. And they're in that room, and it's the final thing Christina says to Meredith, and it's, what is it? Oh, I forgot the actual quote is. But you also have to remember that Derek isn't the son. Oh, I don't remember what the actual quote is, but you know what I'm talking about. It's the final thing she says. But I love Christina. I love the Twisted Sisters dynamic that they had. I loved Meredith and Christina together, and it was really sad. I remember crying a lot watching Christina's exit. Next character, next icon in this list, Amelia Shepherd. Love Amelia. Love Amelia. I love her. Out of discussion. Top tier. I love Amelia Shepherd. She is everything that Derek deserved. I love her. She is one of my favourite characters. I love Amelia. I love that when she comes in. She's also like one of the funny characters that doesn't realise she's funny, I would say. I don't have much to say. I just love her. She can't do wrong in my eyes, Amelia can't. The next person on this list is George O'Malley. Now. Everyone, take a breath. Now. George O'Malley, in hindsight, like rewatching it, yes, he was a piece of shit. He was a horrible husband. We can say about George O'Malley, he was a horrible husband. What he says to Callie, he was a horrible husband to Callie. The fact that Callie, they even got married in the first place was, okay. He was a horrible husband to Callie. That thing he says to Callie about Izzy, I can't remember what it is. It's something like, she's a supermodel and I'm just George. It's something like that. And then Callie's like, well, what about me? What the fuck? Yeah, he was, one thing I will say about George, horrible. He was a horrible husband. He didn't know how to treat women, I will say that, because there's some things he does. Especially with what happens with Meredith, because Meredith is just, you know, she's just found out that her boyfriend has a husband. What? She just found out that her boyfriend has a wife. And she's heartbroken. The dog's dying. You know, he doesn't know how to treat women. I will say that. But I will say is that like people, George O'Malley was a bit of like the punching bag for the interns a bit. Like he was always like the butt of the joke, but he was the heart in the elevator guy because he was the first person to have a solo surgery and he fucked it up. He froze. So immediately, isn't it? Episode 1, he literally gets called. Not episode 1, maybe episode 2. He literally gets called 007. It's like, he was always on the receiving end of, you know, everyone's jokes, and he was the punching bag for the interns. I will say this, I did not like how Alex and George dynamic, the fact that Alex like literally wanted to beat him up and told him to his face. So I was like, leave him alone. Like, you know, leave George alone. Leave him alone. Leave O'Malley alone. And then like his dynamic as well with his brothers. And I was like, oh. I felt sorry for him. But however, you are lying to yourself if you are saying that the 007 episode isn't one of the best reveals. Isn't one of the best, maybe one of the best episodes, best reveal in that entire show. My God. But here's the thing, I will say this, I caught on in that episode way too early. Because I was like, well, someone hasn't been in this episode a lot. And I was like, someone's missing. Because even if it's like, oh, this person isn't on this patient, they'll usually like cut to them in surgery doing something. Or just like a conversation they're having with someone. Whatever the hell. And they didn't do it. So I caught on way too early in that episode about who was missing and who we hadn't seen. So, but it was, well, it was really emotional. It was really emotional, and I will say this, when Bailey is in labour, and then Bailey also, and he helps Bailey deliver the baby, and then Bailey also names her kid George, the middle name George. It's very adorable, like his dynamic with Bailey I loved, and I also, isn't it like later on season where Bailey tells, is it Meredith? I don't know who she tells, but it's one of the later on seasons where she tells them, she's like, oh, my favourite of you all was George. Like, she's like, oh, my favourite of you all was George. Like, no, like, I didn't like any of you, my favourite of you was George. Like, he was the only one that listened. He was like the only one that listened to me. Which I loved. I loved Bailey and George's dynamic. I need a one between We Stan and See I Was Trying to Love You, but never mind. Because I do like him. He is like, listen, if George was still alive, he would have like ran Alex Karev out that hospital. That is my number one opinion. George was the heart in the elevator guy. Come on. Oh, that feels bad. I've put him in We Stand because I do like George O'Malley. If you remove the fact that he is a terrible, but he's a great friend. Well, say about George O'Malley. He was a great friend, but he was terrible with women in a romantic sense. Like, didn't know how to treat women, didn't know how to speak to women. Especially how he treated Callie, but I can't believe I put him in We Stand. If we don't focus on that, if we don't focus on how he spoke about women. Oh, I'm gonna have to change that, aren't I? I do like George O'Malley. He was like the little sibling, wasn't he, of the interns. But anyway, I gotta move on because I need to stop justifying it. Okay. Oh, next person in this tier list is immediately going to the top, and it's Lexie Gray. Come on. She's gonna go in front of Mark, in my opinion. Yeah. I love Lexie. God, I don't want to talk about it. Don't talk about it. If I need to cry, I just need to put on that plane crash episode and just watch the Mark and Lexie scene when they're talking about, oh no, can't even think about it. Oof. Also the fact that is the first time that Mark tells her that he loves her is insane, because Lexie said it before. Oof, let's not talk about it. Oof. Also, I know this is more Mark coded right now, but when Mark when the surge happens, when he's in the hospital and he's talking to Jackson after the plane crash, and that whole thing he says to Jackson, and that speech he gives to Jackson is another emotional thing for me, because when he goes on that whole speech to Jackson when he's awake again, and he tells Jackson, when you love someone, you need to tell them then and there. It does not matter. You need to tell them then and there. And that is because Mark and Jackson were so close, and Mark says that it's like his dying, it's like what he says to Mark before, it's what he says to Jackson before he dies, because Jackson goes to get the baby, goes to see Sophia. That is why Jackson stands up at April's wedding, because that's what Mark told him to do. He's like, you gotta tell him you love it. You gotta tell that person you love them. And I think that's beautiful. The fact that he, even after he passed, Jackson was still thinking about Mark. Like, that's the reason Jackson stood up at April's wedding and they ran off. Love. Love. Anyway. But yeah, Mark and Lexie. As I said, my 3 favourite couples in Grey's Anatomy. Number 1, Mark and Lexie. Number 2, Jackson and April. Number 3, Richard and Catherine Avery. I love those two together. Love. And then I think 4th is Meredith and Jackson. Meredith and Derek. Yeah. I think, in my opinion, Weber and Catherine, love. They don't get enough recognition. I love those two together. They're very adorable. Even though, like, Catherine really dog walks him every now and again, but there we go. Okay, next person in this list, Callie Torres. I like Callie. I will admit, when she, like, the beginning, when she's, like, yeah, when she comes in and, like, the rest of them are very, like, won't speak to her because they think she's like weird and she's married George. Like, that whole thing was weird to me. I was like, why are we bullying? You are grown adults. Why are you bullying a woman? But love her. The whole I always felt sorry for her, and the fact that, like, when George cheats on her and everything, ugh. Yeah, she shouldn't have married George O'Malley, I will say that. I don't think that marriage was a good idea, but yeah. But later on, I did like her. She's a staple. Ooh, I'm gonna put her there. I'm gonna put her in We Stand. We Stand above George O'Malley, obviously. But I know in later on seasons with, like, the whole custody battle. The custody battle between Arizona and Callie for, what's her name? Sophia. Was a lot. That was a lot. Yeah, that, like, after that whole the custody battle, after that it was a bit like, oh god. Yeah, that really got dragged out. I didn't like it that much, but I liked her as a character. Absolute girl boss in my opinion. Next character on this list, April Kapner. I love April Kapner. Like, that whole thing of April having a crisis of faith, and after they lost Samuel, after they lost Samuel, like, that entire storyline was incredible, and, like, then it also shows, like, the effect that had on her marriage with Jackson, and the whole, like, the fact that, like, Jackson didn't have, did he say that? Like, yeah, the whole thing, like, even before that, when Jackson said he didn't really have respect for her because of how religious she was. He didn't have respect for religion, or it was something like that, because he was like, because yeah, she does come from a very strict Christian background. The whole thing was a lot. And then when after they've lost the baby, she goes to war. She goes into war, basically, to be a trauma surgeon with Owen. And Jackson's whole thing is, like, you ran away, and she's like, I didn't run away, it was my coping thing. That whole, like, how they portrayed that dynamic between them both, of how that affected them, I did love it. And I loved April. April was one of my favourites. I don't care. Yeah, also the fact that she's the one that finds her best friend after the episode, in that episode. Oh, want to talk about incredible episode? I love April Kapner. I do not care. I'm putting her at the beginning of We Stand. She might go to the top list, I'm not gonna lie. Next one we have on this list, Jo Wilson. I love Jo. I love Jo. I love her. Love her. Loved her dynamic. Her dynamic even before they got together, but even afterwards, her dynamic with Alex. We will get there. Don't worry. I do love her, and she's one of the only characters that's still in it. She's one of the only characters that's still in the show. So. I like Jo. I'm gonna put Jo in front of George O'Malley. After Callie Torres in front of George O'Malley. Now, we've got Alex Karev. Now, I didn't like Alex. Okay, now Alex Karev. I did not like Alex Karev at the beginning of this, because, as I said, he was a piece of shit. You think back to season 1, he was a piece of shit. The fact they kept calling Meredith a nurse and not having respect for any of the female interns. He printed all those pictures out of Izzy, who, like, did a photo shoot and paid off all of her medical school loans. So, like, I really want to talk shit about it if I was you. Now, the fact that he, like, threatened George every 5 seconds, like, punch his face in, it was weird. And Christina would, like, dog walk him. Quite fun. I loved when they all, like, ganged up on Alex to, like, make him shut up, but, like, in the beginning, in the earlier seasons. But I did love his story arc. I did, not the ending, that's for sure. And even after, like, his childhood, even though, like, what he went through in his childhood, loved the fact that he became a pediatric surgeon and he loved kids. And he was the head of peds for a while. I am in agreement that the way he exited the show, it was awful, like, ruined his entire character arc. He leaves Meredith on her own because he's the last one to leave. He leaves letters to people, and that's how he says goodbye. Like, I'm 100% in agreement that the way that Alex Karev left the show was horrible, because I kind of understand why, because he finds out that he has kids with Izzy. and he doesn't want them to have the same childhood that he had with an absent parent. I understand that, but the fact that he just up and left Joe does not make any sense to me. Does not make any sense to me. Like, Joe deserved better than Alex. So, like, here's the thing. Started off a dickhead, incredible character arc, turned into a lovely person during the show. However, I'm gonna put him in, see, I was trying to love you, but never mind, because the way that his arc ended, I did not like it at all. Didn't like it. Also, here's the thing, I think Izzy would have told him to, like, go back to Joe. I'm gonna be honest. Izzy would have told him to go back to Joe. I do not believe that Izzy would have told him to stay. No. I have a problem. It's just the ending. Don't like it. They should have killed him off. Hot take, should have killed Alex Karev off. You shouldn't have let him be a vet. we should have found out that, like, we should have found out that he and Izzy had kids, but in a way that, like, Izzy turned up at the hospital because there was something wrong with one of the kids, and then they all find out he has kids, and then something happens to Alex and he dies. Like, and that would have been a better ending for Alex. I didn't. He died. He dies. I did not like Alex ending because it didn't make any sense. Didn't make any sense with how much he loved Joe. Didn't make any fucking sense. Anyway, let's move on. Next person on this tier list, Izzy Stevens. Now, I liked Izzy. Like, she was needed that, you know, to be, like, the one that was, like, happy the entire time because everyone else was quite miserable. I loved the Danny Duquette storyline. Cutting the LVAD wire. Ooh, sobbed like a baby. You can bet your ass I cried like a baby during that storyline. And also then, after that, the whole... when she realises she's ill because she's seeing Danny everywhere, and then she finds out that she has cancer, that whole storyline, and then the fact that it's her and George, and the fact that it's her and George, and she doesn't know what's happened to George yet. Oof. And they're both, like, fighting for their lives. She's getting resuscitated, Alex is in the corner crying. I'm gonna be honest, in my opinion, I think Izzy should have died then. I'm gonna be honest. I think Izzy should have died then and not kept the character around, because the fact that she does all of that, she comes back, but they have the financial issues, they have to let people go. So when that merger happens with Mercy West, and they have to let people go for financial reasons, and they call Izzy back in, she can't, and then she gets cut. I was like, it's kind of stupid, and she just leaves after that, and I was like, right, you let her do all of that, you let her have cancer, shave her head, die basically for several minutes, bring her back. She went through chemotherapy, she got rid of it, she still, even as a surgeon, was like performing surgery and still doing chemo and getting all of her treatment done, even though it was making her ill. And she did do that one thing, didn't she? She like she accidentally killed a patient. Oh, she did kill a patient, actually, never mind. Yeah, she did kill a patient with Percy. Yeah, Dr. Percy was there and she killed a patient by accident because she was reading it. She didn't read the form correctly or something. We went through all of that for her to just leave because she got fired. Well, she did kill someone, but you know what I mean? I would have preferred it if Izzy got killed off in that. Like, imagine... Okay, so that episode where it's John Doe, who we know is in George, spoiler alert, and Izzy. And both of them died? That would have been fun. I think Izzy should have died because I don't like what happened. I don't like what happens to her character because she just gets fired and then she leaves. I heard apparently Izzy was supposed to die in the shooting episode, which would have made sense. I think they should have done that. Not made sense. It wouldn't have made sense, actually. I think she either should have died when she had cancer. This is horrible. This is horrible. I think Izzy should have been killed off, whether it was when her heart stopped beating, because when it was that episode when it was between her and George and they were both in getting treatment, or she should have died in the shooting episode. Yeah, because it would have been more gut-wrenching, the fact that, not gut-wrenching, the fact that fucking Reese gets shot in the forehead and we all were like, oh, this is what's happening. I did like Izzy, but I did not like what they did to her character. Also, I will say this, out of all of them, Magic, if you will, Izzy was not cut out to be a surgeon. If we're having this conversation, I don't think Izzy was cut out to be a surgeon. Like, what Bailey told her all the time was the fact that she got too close to patients. 100% understand. And the fact that she did not get fired when the LVAD wire happened was insane. She gets too close to patients, she cut an LVAD wire. Ugh. I'm gonna put it with Karev. She's fitting, actually, but I'm gonna put it with Karev. I do like Izzy more than Karev. But I think you should, and I know it's horrible because she is lovely in the show. She's like a beam of light, but oh my god. Next person on this list, we're gonna make it real quick. Owen Hunt. I don't have to say any more. I don't have to say anything else. That motherfucker's in the trash. Doesn't know how to treat a woman. Doesn't know how to treat a woman. The things that he says to Christina, fucked up. The fact that okay, I understand he is suffering with PTSD. But that fucking thing where we know him for 5 minutes and Christina is getting choked in her sleep. I understand suffering from PTSD, but my god, we can't be doing that. We can't be doing that. The fact that he chokes out Christina and Christina still goes back to him, nuts. Not blaming Christina, but my god. Also, the fact that he is the reason why George dies. He's effectively the reason why George dies, because they treat that army guy together, don't they? And then he like plants seeds in George's head to become a surgeon out there, to become a trauma surgeon. He is the reason George O'Malley dies. To add to that, also the plane crash, Owen's fault. Owen's the reason Mark's dead. The plane crash is Owen's fault. He's the reason Mark and Lexie are dead. He is also the reason why Arizona doesn't have a leg, because, but even more to that, he is the one that tells. Yeah, Mark is the one that tells Arizona that Alex is leaving, and it's because Alex was meant to be on the plane, but Arizona's pissed off at him, so she takes his seat on the plane. So Owen, all bad things trail back to Owen Hunt in Grey's Anatomy. Also, the fact, my god, he yo-yos between women like it's his day job, honestly. He goes to Christina, to Teddy, to Christina, and I love that fucking scene of Christina telling Teddy, you can have Owen. So funny. She's like, you can have him, I don't care, I want to be a surgeon. She's like, you can have him, just teach me, I want to be a surgeon, I don't care about men. It's funny. Incredible. But like, here's the thing, this is nothing against the actors, because I know some of you can't separate an actor from a character they play. These are two different people, okay? Also, whenever Owen Hunt, I forget the name of the real actor, my bad, he's Scottish in real life. I love when people aren't American and play Americans. Next up we have on the list, Dr. Addison Montgomery, a bad bitch. Now, did I hate her when she walked in and ruined Meredith's life? Yeah. And you're the whore? What is it? And you're the whore that's been sleeping with my husband? Is that what she says? You're the whore? But she is a bad bitch. And Derek Sharper did not deserve these bad bitches. I'm telling you that for free. I love Addison though. Also loving like how later seasons, how they tackle a lot of storylines about female rights because of the absolute shit show that is America in the past couple of years. When it comes to, not thinking women should have full autonomy. So, yeah, I like the storylines that they've had to tackle with Addison's character in that sense. When it comes to reproductive rights, that's a lot of Americans don't think should be a thing, which are stupid. Anyway, we're moving on before I start screaming. Next character on this list, Miranda Bailey. That's my woman. That's my girl. I will argue Miranda's going in front of Mark. 100%. She's going in front of Mark. I love Miranda Bailey. Even though the fact that she she pretends that she doesn't pretend she doesn't care, but she has a hard shell. Do you know what I mean? But she really cares about the interns and then when they become residents. Okay, next one we have Arizona Robbins. I like Arizona. She's gonna go after Callie. Who do I like more, Callie or Arizona? Ooh, question. During the custody battle over Sophia, whose team were you on? Were you Team Callie or Team Arizona? I was team this shouldn't have happened. In that sense, I was Team Arizona. No, I wasn't. I really was like, why is this happening? I do love Arizona. Do I like Arizona more than Callie? I think I do. Not gonna lie. Not gonna lie. Next person on this list, Preston Burke. Need I say more? I will say one thing about Christina. Awful taste in men. We're also going to get to somebody else, so she hooks up with the show. Awful taste in men. I will say that about Christina Yang. I love her to death, but my god. That whole thing as well, when he gets shot and his hand isn't working correctly, he keeps on getting tremors. I was going to say seizures, that's not the right word. He keeps getting, after he gets shot in his hand, he still gets, and then Christina's like, I'll help you. So Christina starts learning things that, like procedures that she should not be able to know for like a couple of years. Because isn't she only like a second year resident when that happens? Third year? All of that entire story. The fact that he leaves her at the altar was insane, because he's the one that made her have a big wedding in the first place, even though she didn't want one. And then he leaves her at the fucking altar because he knows. Because for some reason he then has that realization that she doesn't want to do it. Ugh. I will say the only redeeming factor about him is when he comes back and he gives her a hospital, because he's like, I know I left you at the altar, but I still love you, so have a hospital because I want to be with my wife and kids. Nice. Only good thing about you, Preston. Okay, next person on this list. Ooh, because the way I sobbed like a baby for this person's storyline, Danny Duquette. I love Danny Duquette. I don't care. Actually, no, I'm not. I'm gonna put him top tier, because one, I sobbed like a baby with his storyline. Second of all, love the fact that he dies and doesn't mention to Izzy that he's a millionaire. What's another thing about Izzy? That whole thing about the fact that she doesn't cash that $8 million check. Don't get me fucking started. Oh, that was stupid. That was really stupid. I understand it was like a grief talking, but my god. Okay, next character on this list, Teddy Altman. I like Teddy. Well, admit, bit annoying. I'm gonna put her in front of George. No, I'm not. I'm gonna put her after George. I liked her. When she first came in, yeah, it was a bit like, what is going on? Yeah, I don't really have much to say about Teddy. I like her. She's always, you know, she's a bit like Owen, that she's in every episode. She's still there. Oh, next one, my king, Richard Webber. Richard's going after Danny Duquette. Top tier. Top tier. Love Richard. Love him. That's my man. Okay, next. I love Richard Webber. Also, my favourite thing about Richard Webber's storyline, in season 1 there's a storyline that he is retiring soon, and here we are 21 seasons later and he's still a surgeon. But I hope they don't kill off Webber or Catherine. I don't want them to. Another season's still on. Don't want them to. Okay, next one, Nathan Riggs. I liked Nathan Riggs. The fact that he just fucking runs off. I like him. I'm gonna put you up here. I don't like how what happened with Nathan. The fact that he got told that like Meg, Owen's sister, was still alive and he ran off. And apparently they don't even end up together and never came back from Meredith. Stephanie Edwards. I liked Stephanie. Yeah, also the fact that she's the one that's dating Jackson when he like crashes April's wedding. Fun. I wouldn't show my face ever again. That episode where she leaves because that fire happens and she's trying to save that little girl's life because there's a in the hospital and she burns him alive. Good for her. I'm gonna put it on the end of We Stand, but like if there was another like tier here that was like, I liked you when you were there and you had a good story and you left well. That's just next person on this list, Erica Hahn. She's a bad teacher. She was a bad teacher. The fact that she just had that one-sided beef with Christina was insane, when Christina just wanted to do a running whipple stitch on a heart, you know. Don't have nice things to say about it. Next person's list, Jane Doe / Rebecca Pope. I literally have never hated a storyline more in my life. That whole Alex finding her and her pretending that she doesn't know who she is most of the time, and she names herself Rebecca. I don't hated that storyline so much, and the fact that like Alex is in love with her. Like, he says it himself. He said it's fair share of crazy. I'm like, yeah. Next thing, Adele Weber. Oh, I love Adele. Richard. Sorry. I love Adele. Next person on the list, the one and only Alice Gray. Now, legend, yeah. Mother, trash. Because she is the Alice Gray, but my god, Meredith needed therapy for that woman. Next one on this list, Ben Warren. I love Ben. I love Ben. I love Ben and Bailey. That's another couple I love in the show. Ben and Bailey, love them. Catherine Avery, love Catherine. I'm gonna put Catherine high. I'm gonna put Catherine in front of Danny. No, I'm not. No, Richard, then Catherine, then Adele. Ooh, then Ben. Dr. Nicole Herman. I liked her. She was very tough on Arizona, yeah. Okay, next person on this list, Thatcher Gray. I do hate him, but he does have a redeemable arc when he dies. But that's saying something. And I understand that was Ellis's reason why he abandoned Meredith. She wouldn't let him see her at all or contact her. So yeah, but then also when his wife dies and he walks into the hospital and he slaps Meredith in the face, bad. And the fact that he's a chronic alcoholic and doesn't stop drinking and then comes into the hospital and he needs his transplant, and Lexie isn't a match, but Meredith is. And basically Meredith feels cornered and has to give him a fucking organ. Ugh. You can understand why, because like Alice didn't let him at all be in her life. Didn't like you for a long time, but then you were redeemed right before you died. Should be a tier list in this. That's why I put him. Like, he does redeem himself in like the last couple of times we see him, especially the scene where he dies in Meredith. I do not like him, but I understand why he is the way that he is. Do you know what I mean? Oh, Shane Ross, hate. He's at the top of my conclusion. I hate you, Shane Ross. Do not like him. Way too big for his boots. You were an intern. And the fact that, again, as I said earlier, Christina Yang, terrible taste in men. The fact that she was hooking up with Shane and Shane was losing it. And the fact that he is the reason that Heather dies. Oof. Let's go to Heather next. I really liked Heather. Loved the fact that she was so good in Neuro and she was becoming Derek second hand, and Shane had a problem with that and fucking is the reason she died. Yeah, so as I said, hated Shane. He did, what was I say about Shane? Shane didn't deserve to go out the way he did. Then he went to Switzerland. He went to Switzerland with Christina to work with her in her hospital. Didn't deserve it. Didn't deserve it. They should have killed her off or else. Sloan Riley. Annoying. Annoying. That's all I'm saying. Dr. Reese. Now. When what happens to her? Well, no, she was a bitch. She was a bitch. Percy's not in this list. Oh, well. Oh, we got Henry Burton, who's Teddy marries for him to have insurance, and then that scene where Christina operates on his heart and doesn't know it's him. Oh, I like him. Dr. Thin, the vet. Meh. I didn't like it, I'm not gonna lie. We have DeLuca. I like DeLuca. Don't really understand why he became a love interest for Meredith. And the fact that he is like, they think he is losing his mind like his dad, because his dad experiences episodes when he's correct, and the whole that he thinks someone's getting human trafficked. The fact that that's how he got killed off was stupid to me. I did like him, but he was slightly annoying in between that. I'm not gonna lie. God, I love glasses. I love him. I love this king. You were going here. Wait. I love you. I don't like how this character left either. Glasses, the guy who... I don't like how he left either. I loved his storyline. He left like this, like season 20, season 21, season 20. Didn't like how his character left, I'm gonna be honest. Okay, and then we have Secret Sister, Maggie Pierce. Love the fact that she's Weber's secret child. I like that. She's Weber and Alice's secret child. I love that. And I've seen the teaser for the new season and he has a piece of shit in it, but I like Karasik. I loved him. The fact that that man has been with everyone in that hospital, love him. I know he is a piece of shit, but he is quite funny, so. Helm, I liked. The fact that she, like, leaves because she couldn't afford it, and then she comes back. I like Helm. Also, the fact that she's in love with Meredith the entire time. Okay, then we have Cormac. Love that he was a present sent by Christina. I fucking loved Cormac, and he's not in it anymore. Him and Meredith should have been together. And I know it was slightly a storyline, but not really. We have Betty. Liked her storyline with Amelia. Yeah, she was a little shit. Yeah, she was a bit of a shit, let's be honest. But I liked her storyline with Amelia, that Amelia was helping her also as an addict. Loved that. Then we have Leah Murphy. I liked her. I liked Leah. I know she wasn't... Yeah, what was that about, actually? I can't remember what that was. She gets fired. She gets hired again. Because she was at a different hospital. She comes back, and then I don't know what happens after that. I can't remember. Then we have Megan Hunt. She was fun. Liked her. Prefer her over Owen. Well, I think that's everyone's fucking opinion, to be honest. Oh, Sadie. She was annoying. Meredith's friend from med school. She was weird. Why are we taking out our appendixes and giving each other epidurals? She was weird. Didn't like her. Sam Barlow. Not much to say about her. She just hooks up with DeLuca, and then immigration turns up because she ran a red light. That is pretty much her entire storyline in the show. So, like, okay. Okay, I'll put it at the end of We Stand. Oh, Elsa, this doctor that's like, if we do this, it's cutting time. She's that fucking person that comes in. She was annoying. She's the reason why a patient dies, like a child dies. Susan Gray. I liked her. She was slightly annoying. We have Nico. Liked his dynamic. I loved when his relationship with Glasses, I keep on forgetting his name, I'm so sorry, with Glasses. However, didn't like how it ended. Well, I did, because he has like a partner and they're having a baby, and then we never see him again, but okay. I liked this character. I did. I liked that character. Didn't like how they left. End of discussion, really. I think that's the end of the discussion, really. Anyway, this is my ranking of the Grey's Anatomy's characters. If you have different opinions, which I'm gonna go in a wild guess and say a lot of people do, please let them down below. Please leave them down below, because I want to know how wrong I am about certain people. Yeah, as I said, I recently rewatched this entire fucking show, so I was really excited to do this. Also, I can't believe I blanked on so many names. I literally rewatched this entire show last month, so... But anyway, if you did like this video, please like and subscribe, and leave a comment down below telling me who your favourite character is of all time in Grey's Anatomy, because I want to know. I might do a video ranking Scandal characters as well, because I think it's 13 years. I saw something on Twitter saying it's 13 years this week or this month or something since Scandal premiered, so I might do another tier list ranking. Or if you have any other video suggestions, please write them down below. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!